Okay, we are going to do a little short, quick pranayama practice just to get everyone excited for the pranayama course I'm doing. When you start in pranayama, there are a few ways that you can seat yourself so that you're comfortable. You know, you don't want to be suffering. You don't want to be blowing out your joints. So if you have to sit in a chair, that's totally fine. If you like to sit cross-legged in lotus, you can use a bolster. Not very many people can do lotus. I definitely don't recommend starting here. But my favorite way to do it is to sit in virasana. And when you sit in virasana, you're going to set the block up so that your knees are all the way together and your heels are on the side of your hips. So your knees are together, heels are on the side of your hips. And when you sit in that way, it really just gives you a nice bolt on your hips so that when you start moving your body and moving the breath through your body, you're very stable. And so however you sit yourself, you want to make sure that you're centered between your pubis and your coccyx. So it's your perineum, your pelvic floor. This is essentially the arch of your third foot. So you have your left foot, you have your right foot, and you have your third foot. When you're on this center, it wakes up your central channel. And so everything in this practice is really lining yourself up on this central channel so that currency can move through you. So the minute you set yourself up, you begin to have a conversation with your mind, with your body, with your breath. So the breath work and the pranayama is really the bridge that takes us between the body and between the mind, right? It is the place where information is moving. Just like in the quantum, it is where matter exchanges with the information, and the quantum is everything that threads it together. So when we do breath work, keep in mind the focus really is just focus on the breath. And so when you set yourself up here, you're going to close your eyes. And the minute you close your eyes, you start to bring your awareness inside. And so with your eyes closed, the dialogue becomes very personal, right? You start to look inside, you start to see what's going on. Your body is your house. So you want to know that whatever's going on inside is going on outside. So the minute we start to reorganize the inner contents of our body, our mind recalibrates, our thoughts recalibrate, and we start to see different experiences outside of ourselves. And so really quickly, just set yourself up. Feel that line coming down from the universe, through your skull, through your throat, through your torso, through your perineum, and down into the center of your earth. Organize yourself on this line, right? This is your Tai Chi, this is your Sutra Atman, this is your spit. The minute you're on this line, you're at a 90-degree angle, and a 90-degree angle holds up. So put yourself on that line, reach your arms up in the air so that you're embodying an equilateral triangle from the center of your heart out to your left hand, from the center of your heart out to your right hand. And make your cups or your hands shaped like cups. So if Grace is raining down, you have the opportunity to catch it. Keep your arm bones in line with your ears because arms are extensions of your lungs. And this is really going to strengthen your lungs and your ability to hold the breath. And whenever you're ready, you're going to pump your breath out in Kapalabhati. And this is a forceful exhale. It sounds like. And when you're doing this breath, all you want to do is make sure that you find a tempo that you can sustain. And so whether you're exhaling slow, whether you're exhaling fast, all you want to know is that you can get on your bike and get going. And so as you exhale, 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 and let the breath come out of your body, what you're really doing is you're pulling the belly button up into the spine. And this is getting everything out of you, right? It's getting out the garbage from your day that you no longer want. It's getting out the emotions that are no longer serving you. It's getting out your prejudices, your preconceived notions, right? All those things, your opinions that you do not really need and that just kind of get carried along as baggage along the way. So exhale, 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 exhale. Know that when you're doing this practice, this is really to lighten you up. It is to lighten your load. It is to get rid of things that are no longer serving you. It is to orient yourself in the center. The minute you're in the center, you're the eye of the storm. And in the eye of the storm, everything is calm, right? And so it's to get clarity in the mind, right? Breath work is really all about getting clarity in the mind, seeing a bigger picture, putting yourself in the center of your circumstances, and knowing that you are the magician that manipulates all of it. And so keep pumping your breath. When you're at home and doing this alone, it's good to set a count. But when you're with a teacher, it's great because you don't have to think about your count. All you have to do is just keep it going, right? All of yoga is really, can you build the stamina? Can you build the endurance? Can you handle it? So keep your arms up in the air. Fight your fight. Know that all of these practices are really to establish your character, right? And a strong character can really weather all storms. Life gets stormy, life gets uncomfortable, circumstances change, and life does get hard. And so the trick is really to rise to it, to rise to your challenges, to rise to your innate desires and your innate will to want to participate in the planet. Exhale, 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 just for a little bit longer. Nice. We'll do a few more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to exhale all the breath all the way out. And when you do this and you keep pushing the breath out, you should feel your pelvic floor lifting just slightly. And when you feel that lift happening just slightly, keep that lift and keep squeezing and keep holding and keep that pulling happening and pulling up through your central channel. And then take a deep breath, inhale through your central channel, in, keeping that hold and keeping that pull of your pelvic floor all the way up to your lungs, all the way up to your throat. Stop at your palate and take your tongue on your palate where you would say the word lovely. Take a slight little chin lock and just pull your chin down towards your chest. Pretend like you're sucking on your thumb or a straw that's clogged up, and just circuit the breath in here for one moment, right? Hold the breath in and keep pulling the energy up your spine so that you're electrifying your body. You're beginning to move the currency in the body. You're beginning to become master of your own personal energy source. And whenever you're ready, and whenever you feel like you can't hold it in any longer, you're going to release the throat lock, take a slight inhale, and then exhale, let it go and flip your palms up towards the sky. And so between each breathwork practice, you're just going to rest. You're going to rest within the stillness of your body, watching the inhale coming in, making your efforts, and watching your exhale fall out, riding the waves of the grace as it's raining down. Every inhale and exhale becomes this rhythm, your own personal tides within your body that begin to soothe your emotions, that begin to soothe your psyche, that begin to soothe all your notions of personal security. And so our ears are connected to our kidneys and our feelings of safety. And so the minute you hear the breath coming in and out like the tides of the ocean, washing back and forth on the shore, right, you begin to soothe yourself. So a lot of this practice is also self-soothing, right? Knowing that you have the tools to recalibrate yourself. You have the tools to harmonize your inner world. And then flip your palms and place them on your lap. And so in this way, your hand is shaped like a mitt, your knee is shaped like a ball, or your thigh, wherever you can grab hold of it, you're just going to hold on. You're going to inhale, tip forward, so your pubic bone tips down, and you have a nice arch in your spine. And then exhale, you're going to curl back and round onto your tail. And then just go back and forth. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. And as you're rolling back and forth, what you're noticing is that you're almost rolling over your third foot. Every time you lean forward onto your pubic bone, you're tipping forward into the future. Anytime you're curling back on your tail, you're hanging back in your memories, right? And so the whole back body holds our memories. It holds our experiences. It holds all the things that get stuck in our body, right? When our spine feels like it's getting a little bit tight, we're really chewing on stuff. We're working through it all, working through the memories that are really reflecting our future. And so anytime you tip forward, you're playing in the realm of infinite potential, right? The future, any direction you can go, right? Knowing that the minute you change your direction, you're going to change the memories and reflect back behind you. And so all of it is navigating. Yoga and life and our personal practices, any kind of ritual you have, you're putting yourself in the center so you can navigate more fluidly. Life gives us curveballs. And so half of it is the art of knowing how to get around our obstacles. And so as you inhale and exhale and go back and forth, you are really learning how to go into the future when you need to and reference back your memories and your feelings of safety also when it serves you. The whole trick of this is to not get stuck. Anytime we're too far forward, always leaning out into the future, we're going to trip over ourselves. Anytime we're too far back, hanging back on our tail, it is really to know that we are holding our ground, but eventually too much of that gets us stuck in the mud. And so half of it is to know when to give yourself a kick in the butt, and half of it is to know when to put the brakes on. And so as you go back and forth and roll over this third foot, know that this is your engendering root. And so this is really where the dialogue of epigenetics takes place. You get your left root from your mother, you get your right root from your father, but the third root in the center is really you weaving it. You deciding what to take with you and what to leave behind. You changing your DNA so that you really become a master of who you are, right? Rewiring your whole circuit board so that you can become completely new if you need to. And so all of it is to know that everything is incredibly plastic. Your mind is plastic, the body is plastic, nothing is set in stone. And so it is to manipulate, it is to know exactly what you want and know the steps you need to take to get there. So inhale and exhale for a little bit longer, right? Let this really open up your lower back. We spend so much of our lives hanging back in our tails, sitting back in our chairs, sitting back in our cars, that we tend to really get stuck here. And so you want to know that you just want to keep the whole pelvis fluid and mobile and moving and keep this currency moving through it so that when you get older, you don't need to get a hip replacement, so that your sacroiliac joints don't fuse together, because just because it's common in our culture does not mean it's normal, right? It is to see what is happening and to know that you get a rise to the challenge, to not let it happen to you, to fight your fight, and to envision a new way forward. So next time you tip forward, take a deep breath in, fill yourself up. And then as you exhale again, roll back on your tail and get all the air out so you feel that lift in your pelvic floor. And the minute you feel that lift, and if you don't, breathe out more air, and then keep that squeeze and inhale, rise up through your central channel again. Be right on the center of your pelvic floor and lift, 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 all the way through the center, all the way up through the center of the throat, all the way up into the center of the palate, where you would say the word lovely. Take your tongue on your palate like a little lock, hold it in, tuck your chin towards your chest just slightly, pretend like again you're sucking on your thumb, and keep pulling and pulling through your central channel, the breath all the way up. So it's like this straight line, this axis mundi, and you're just pulling this energy up through you. So you're pulling the water out of the well, you're getting the magic out of the earth, so that it ignites and electrifies your being, and so that you choose how to increase your energy. So hold the breath in for as long as you can. And whenever you're ready, again, release the throat. Take a little tiny inhale and exhale, let the breath go. Flip your palms up towards your sky and just give yourself a moment. And then again, inhale, fill your belly with breath, rise the breath all the way up the front of the body. Right at the front is the whole realm of the potential in the future. And on the exhale, let the breath wash down the back of your body. So the realm of our memories, the realm of our upbringing, the realm of our conditioning, and where we came from. Right. And so in the future, and with every inhale, it is you choosing. It is you forging new paths forward, navigating new terrain. And every exhale, it is you releasing all the things that are not serving you, that are holding you back from the movement forward, the direction in which you wish to go. Beautiful. And then take your arms up and place them at the level of your collarbones, right? Make little tiny fists, not too hard, just little fists. Keep your elbows up nice and high. So your elbows are your equilibrium tool for your kidneys. The minute your elbows are off, your kidneys are going to be off. So keep your elbows high. You're lifting yourself now off of your kidneys, and you're emerging out of those depths of our being where all of our conditioning is, all of our upbringing is, all of the lunar aspects that are pulling us, our underground waters. And you're lifting up out of it and moving into the realm of our communal. So the communal is where we ask for a hand, where we use our hands, where we help other people, where we're really engaged in community. And so keep your hands nice and high. And this time as you inhale, you're going to open yourself up, and as you exhale, you're going to curl down into yourself. And then just go back and forth. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And so as you roll it back and forth, it's really about getting the momentum, right? The momentum to go out, the momentum to take a risk, the momentum to engage in community. All of it in the basement and in the lower body is to substantiate you, is to build your home and to build your foundation so that when you go out, you are giving of yourself rather than letting it deplete you. And so as you inhale and exhale, imagine your spine as a book. Every time you open yourself up, you're making yourself available for your story to be read. Every time you exhale, you are closing your book. This is like going inside of your house, right? This is your personal you time. This is when you don't want people invading your space. It is when you replenish and recharge and rehydrate. And so as you go back and forth, it is really to know that life is a fluid expression of all of this. When we go out into the world, we're opening ourselves up, making ourselves vulnerable, making ourselves available, hoping that someone sees us for what we are. And then every time we exhale and close ourselves down, it is so that we can really find out who we are, so that we can look inside of ourselves, so that we can get a bigger picture of ourselves in relation to all of it. And so it's really to know that it is all of it. It is you communicating with other people. It is you being in a relationship with other people, but also you being in relationship with yourself. And so the yoga practice really shows you. It shows you where your weaknesses are. It shows you where your blind spots are. It shows you what you're afraid of. It shows you where you're too scared to rise to, but it also shows you what you're good at. Know that whatever you're good at will fall apart. We always blow out our strength. But it is our weakness eventually that we have to rise to. And so it pays to know where you don't want to go. It pays to know where you're not good. It pays to know where you're triggered, because eventually this is what holds the magic. This is the key so that you don't get pushed over. This is the key so that you don't blow out your best game, right? It is to integrate all of these aspects of yourself so that you have a vision that is well-rounded and not just linear, so that it starts to see in every direction and it starts to really know how to play the game. And so every time you inhale and exhale, you're just playing with that polarity and that dialogue of going in and going out, knowing that in the dark, there's the light, knowing that in the yin, there's the yang, knowing that in the expansion, there's the contraction. And so life is this playing this pendulum of all of it. Take a deep breath in and fill yourself up. And as you exhale, bring your hands down and let the breath go. Again, let all the breath out so that you feel completely empty. So you feel that natural lift of the pelvic floor and that full exhale. And then when you're ready, keep the lock, keep the pelvic floor squeezing, and then inhale, breathe through your spine, all the way up through the lungs, all the way up to the throat, and all the way up to the palate. Take your tongue on your palate like a little thumb. Take that little lock where you're kind of pulling it away slightly. So it's the same kind of suction on your palate that it is on your pelvic floor. You're pulling them together in a sense and pulling the energy up your spine. Hold the breath in for as long as you can. And whenever you're ready, again, release the throat and let the breath go. And then again, inhale and exhale. And now let the breath be organic. Let every inhale come into your belly. Release the pelvic floor down. Release the diaphragm down. And then every exhale, the pelvic floor and the diaphragm naturally lifts up. And as this breath waves through you, it starts to become a little bit more still, a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more comfortable, right? As you begin to open up your parasympathetic nervous system. And so that's what this breath work does. It navigates us in our nervous system. When we're sympathetic, we're responding. When we're parasympathetic, we're receiving. And it's again, it's play between both sides of this, the left and the right, the in and the out, the up and the down, the back and the forward, the contraction, the expansion. And so the better we navigate the realm of polarity and this pendulum, the easier life becomes, knowing that every dark time births a light. And every light time there will be a darkness. And it's really to know that nothing is static and nothing is stagnant. And evolution comes from change and it comes from discomfort, because otherwise there's not enough tension to get the fire going, to get the impetus for change lit. Beautiful. Reach your arms up towards the sky. And this time what we're going to do is every exhale, you're going to switch which arm is in front and just tap your chest slightly right where your thymus gland is. You're going to go exhale, 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 exhale. So know that right at the center of our chest is our thymus gland. It is the gland of our heart, and it is the gland of our immune system. And so the minute there's too much heat in the heart, the minute the heart starts to build up with pressure, this is when the emotions start to get a little bit erratic. And so our heart is meant to be empty. It is meant to be a chamber in which to hold our spirit, so that our spirit can get the guidance from the cosmos, so that we can live out our life's path. And so as you exhale, 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 play with this idea of emptying out your heart. Empty your heart out of the emotions that are no longer serving you. Empty your heart out of the stale, dated opinions. Empty your heart out of anything that feels like it's creating a fire in your body that is a fire that you do not want to sustain. Exhale, 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 exhale. And know that just by tapping and beginning to have a conversation with the glands, we begin to potentiate the glands. And so this strengthens our immune system. And the minute we know how to get stuff out of our bodies that are not serving us, our immune system becomes stronger. And so all of it now is to not get sick. And if you do get sick, have the techniques to get over it quickly. You want to be able to have every trick in your magic book to be able to deal with things quickly. Because when you don't deal with things quickly, things start to brew. Things start to get bigger. And in magnitude, when they get bigger, they start to become an issue. And so all of it is really preventative. Yoga practice is preventative. Well-being practices are preventative. It is to know that we do this work not today, but for tomorrow. It is so that we have the ability to move into our old age with ease. We have the ability to see what's going to happen. We get old, we get sick, we get hunchbacked, we eventually die. And so you want to fight your fight. You want to keep your front body stronger than your back. You want to have tools and techniques to stay well. You want to be able to stay agile in your old age so that you're not a burden upon anyone. And so as we use these practices, it is really so that we stay in our place of personal power. And personal power is when we shift through our life stages with ease, when we know when to exert effort and we know when to slow it down. Exhale, 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 exhale. And then in this way, we're not only listening to our bodies, but we're listening to the seasons outside of us and the seasons that we're going through inside of us. When we're a little child, to when we're in our adult years, really in the summer of our life, to when we're in our elder years in the autumn, and when we're approaching the other world, when we're in the winter of our life. And so exhale, 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 exhale. Position yourself in the center of all of it. Take one more breath out, bring your hands down, and let all the air go. Again, keep that lock on your pelvic floor. And when you're ready, pull the breath up, in and in and in. Feel yourself all the way full. 3 more breaths in. Tuck your chin towards your chest. And hold the breath in for as long as you can. And whenever you're ready, let the breath go. And let the breath come in and out. And just notice how different your body feels just from those few practices. Know that this practice is to recalibrate, to quickly find your center, to know that you're in the center of your circumstances, navigating your own personal sphere, to know that everyone's in the center of their own circumstances, using the tools that they have to navigate their own personal spheres. And together, we are coming together with our own spheres, right? Magnifying the experience, revealing the mirrors that we're reflecting in each other, and none of it's personal, right? It's just information. And so take all of it as information. Know that the information is to serve you so that you can choose a different way forward if you don't like what you're seeing. Know that when you have information, you have power, right? The power to manipulate, the power to articulate, the power to become a master of your circumstances. Let's take another full breath in. And then exhale, just let it all go. Beautiful. That was a short little practice. I hope you liked it. I love teaching pranayama. I hope you'll join me with pranayama coming up on April 5th with our Healy. We're going to be attaching ourselves to different meridian programs and using different organs to potentiate our whole entire experience. So thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a beautiful day.